In this video, we're going over the 7.3 to 7.5 review. The first one, simplify the expression. We need to factor the top and factor the bottom. X squared minus 25 is a difference of two squares. It factors into x plus 5, x minus 5. If you've forgotten that, you'd be looking for two numbers that multiply to give you negative 25 and add up to the middle term, which is missing, which is 0. The only numbers that do that are positive 5 and negative 5. That's why difference of two squares factors in that way. On the bottom, we are looking for two numbers that multiply to give us negative 15 and at the same time add up to negative 2. That would be probably 3 and 5. And to get a negative 2, it would have to be a negative 5. So x plus 3, x minus 5. Once you have the top and the bottom factored, then you can look at what matches on the top and the bottom. The x plus 5 matches on the top and the bottom, so that cancels, and our answer is x plus 5 over x plus 3. If you selected A technically is not wrong. It is factored, but the directions say simplify the expression, which means that we need to get rid of that common factor of x minus 5 on the numerator and the denominator to get our final simplified expression, x plus 5 over x plus 3. Multiply and simplify, leave your answer in factored form. So I'm going to start at the top left and factor x squared minus 2x minus 3. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give me negative 3. Those same numbers need to add up to negative 2. That would be, it has to be 1 times 3 with a negative 3. So x plus 1, x minus 3. Oh, ignore the bell. Now I'm going to go to the top right. The top right is just x plus 4. That can't be factored anymore. It's just the factor x plus 4, so that goes in the numerator. On the lower left, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us negative 18. Those same numbers need to add up to 3. So it's probably 3 and 6 with a negative 3. So x minus 3, x plus 6. In the lower right, what color have I not used? We need two numbers that multiply to give us 8 and add up to 6. That would be 2 and 4. So x plus 2, x plus 4. Then we need to look at what common factors are there on the top and on the bottom. I see that there's an x minus 3 that matches. There's an x plus 4 that matches. So our final answer is x plus 1 on the top and x plus 6, x plus 2 on the bottom. Now this is set up to accept equivalent answers. So if you have x plus 2 times x plus 6 in the bottom, that would be fine. To enter your answer, you should start with the fraction button, and then you want that x plus 1 in the top. If you put parentheses around it, it should also count that as correct. If a couple of you want to test that out for me, that'd be great. Then we do parentheses, x plus 6, close our parentheses or move outside of them, and then another set of parentheses, x plus 2. And again, this is set to accept equivalent answers. So if your x plus 2 was in the first set of parentheses and your x plus 6 was in the second set, it would still count that as correct. But keep in mind, if you type in the answer that Photomath gives you, it will count your answer as incorrect. So please do not be banking on Photomath to get you to your correct answer. That would be considered cheating. Definitely would be considered cheating. Divide and simplify. The one thing that you need to really remember with division is keep, change, flip. So we are going to keep our first fraction the same. And if you got a paper copy fairly early from me on Tuesday, this question is incorrect on the paper copy. My starting at about 6th hour on Tuesday, I have corrected copies. So if you got it in the afternoon, like after lunch, I have corrected copies, but if you got it before then, your copy may be incorrect. So make sure you look at this carefully. So we change the sign to multiply and we flip the second fraction. So I just switched the order of the numerator and the denominator in that second one. Now we need to factor, because now it's just like number 2 was. So first I factor this thing, looking for two numbers that multiply to give me 14 and add up to 9. In order for 2 and 7 to add up to 9, it would have to be positive 2 and positive 7. And if you need to do the blanks here to help you with this, you totally can. I've just gotten to a point where I don't really use those blanks anymore. So 2 times 7, 2 plus 7. Then I need to factor this thing. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us negative 20 and add up to negative 1. That is probably 4 and 5. And to make a negative 1, the 5 would need to be negative. Factoring this one, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us 20 and add up to 9. I believe that would be positive 4 and positive 5. And this one, we need two numbers that multiply to give us 14 and add up to negative 5. 2 times 7 is 14. Is that supposed to be a negative 14? Hold on a second. I might have found my error. Okay, sorry about this. I believe I have now fixed it. This should be actually, and I changed it in here in the problem, x squared minus 5x minus 14. So this is a minus 14 right there. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us negative 14 and add up to negative 5. That would be positive 2 and negative 7. Now when we look at what crosses off, the x plus 2 cancels, and the x plus 4 cancels. And yes, this is frustrating, but I wanted to make this like this because the question on the test is kind of like this. It looks like, oh my gosh, I must have done something wrong because I've got plus 7 and minus 7, I've got minus 5 and plus 5. That is what your answer is supposed to look like. So x plus 7, x minus 5 on the top, or the other order, x plus 5, x minus 7 on the bottom, or the other order. So when you type this in, oops, that's not what I wanted. I want the fraction first, and then in the numerator you want x plus 7, and you can type it in on your keyboard or using those buttons. Another set of parentheses, x minus 5. And again, it will count them correct even if you do those parentheses in the opposite order. And then on the bottom, I want x plus 5 and x minus 7. And again, switched order will still work. So if you picked up a paper copy from me, number 3 is slightly wrong. You will want to edit that when you pick that up. The paper copy that I put on Schoology should be correct. Okay, find the sum. The first thing that you need to do when you find the sum is factor any denominators that need to be factored. So we need to factor that denominator on the left. You're looking for two numbers that multiply to give you negative 15 and add up to negative 2. That would be 3 and negative 5. So x plus 3, x minus 5. And the other denominator is x plus 3. So you'll notice they both have x plus 3 in the denominator, but the one on the left has x minus 5, so the one on the right needs the x minus 5. So your common denominator is x plus 3, x minus 5. In the numerator, you want to do the x and then distribute your 1 here, so you have x minus 5. That ends up giving us 2x minus 5 on the top, and our binomials x plus 3, x minus 5 on the bottom. So this is the answer we're going for. To type that in here, no thank you. Fraction button first. Type in your 2x minus 5 on the top, and on the bottom, again, the order does not matter. If you do x minus 5, x plus 3, that's totally fine. It should accept equivalent answers. But again, photomath answer will be counted as incorrect because that is cheating. Solving equations. This first one is a cross-multiply situation. So to cross-multiply, we do 2 times the quantity x squared minus 3. On the other side, we've got x plus 2 times x minus 3. When we distribute, we get 2x squared minus 6. When we double distribute, we get x squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 6. Combine our like terms. I want to get everything to one side, and I want to keep x squared positive. So I am going to subtract x squared on both sides. I'm going to add x on both sides, and I'm going to add 6 on both sides. So I'm getting rid of everything over here. So I've got x squared plus x, and the 6's cancel out. Now, how do we factor this? Two terms. These two terms have x in common. So x squared, if I divide that by the x, I'd be left with x. X divided by x is 1. Remember, you have to be able to distribute this back out and get back to what you started with. X times x gives you x squared. X times 1 gives you the x. So it's important that that 1 is there. To factor this, the x plus 1 gives us the solution -1. The x gives us the solution 0, because if I put a 0 in here, 0 times anything would give us 0. So your two solutions are 0 and -1. This is a text enter, so just type in 0, and for -1, type in -1. It will count either one as correct. And our last one, we've got 2 over x minus 3, give yourself a space, plus 1 over x, give yourself a space, equals x minus 1 over x minus 3. The denominators that we see here are x and x minus 3, so we are going to multiply everything times x and x minus 3. In the first term, x minus 3 cancels. We're left with 2x. In the second term, the x cancels. We distribute that 1, and we get x minus 3. And in the last term, the x minus 3 cancels. We're left with x times the quantity x minus 1. We need to distribute that x into that thing. So we have 3x minus 3 equals x squared minus x. We need to get everything onto the same side so that we can factor. Keep your x squared positive because that makes it easier. X squared minus 4x plus 3. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us 3. The only numbers that do that are 1 times 3. They need to add up to -4, so they both need to be negative. So our solutions are +1 and +3. But look back at the original problem. If you try to plug 3 in there, 3 minus 3 in the denominator is going to be 0. That's bad. So 3 is an extraneous solution. Our only actual solution is 1. And it's kind of a hint on this problem that since there's only one place to stick your answer, that there's only one answer. So if you have two answers, maybe one of your answers is extraneous. Make sure you check that.